Hey, so this week we're gonna build a base for this new sander that I got. It's a Ridgid Oscillating Belt sander, spindle sander. I got a really good deal on this as a scratch and dent for like 170 bucks. And I wanna make a cart that's probably up 4 inches lower. So I will get started on that and take you guys along with me. So I built this cart a few years back and I really like how simple it is. It's nice and sturdy. It's built with 3/4 inch plywood top and bottom. I framed out the whole thing with 2x4s and stuck a plate on the bottom and screwed casters into it. So super simple. And that's probably what I'm gonna make. So I had this scrap piece of plywood. I guess it's not really scrap. It's a pretty significant chunk. But it was only 18 inches wide. And I was concerned as to whether it'll be wide enough to adequately support this. And I got an overhang by about 1/2 inch on either side. And it's plenty long enough to make it top and bottom, like I showed you for the other cart. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cut down. Currently 48 inches long. So I'm probably gonna cut it down to 23 inches and then cut another section that's 23 to make the top and bottom supports. So I think this piece will work. And I have some 2x4s already, so it looks like I don't have to buy any wood. I forgot to record cutting that board, so I'll give you a dramatic reproduction. First cut. So we're currently at 50.5 inches from the ground. So we want this to be 44.5 inches tall. Probably right around this thing, a little bit taller. So 44.5 inches tall. And I've got 3-inch casters. So now math time. So 44.5 minus 3 inches for the casters, minus 3/4 for the base, means I have to make this, math time, 39.25. I'll check my math and put it up on the screen. So that'll be the height that I gotta cut the 2x4s to recreate this dimension here. So I gotta cut 1, 2, 3, 4, and then cut some cross beams and a center support. So anyways, I'll do the math, put it on the screen, and share it with you guys. Since I'm using this as my reference build, I now have to get 4 pieces this size here. And I'll just get that directly off piece. And that measurement should be 18 minus 3, 15. It's not exactly 3 inches or 1.5 inches. So this is gonna be 4 pieces at 14 7/8. And then I'll also have to have a support piece down the middle. And that distance will be 2 of these minus that. "20 inches. Remember I said that math is hard and I'd have to put the numbers up? I forgot to take into account the 44 inches was the height of this, 6 inches lower. And then I just built my really tall legs to get me this height at 6 inches lower, but I didn't take into account the distance from here to here. I wasted a good 10 inches of wood times 4, 40 inches. What a waste. However, I caught it before I assembled everything, and now I can cut these to the appropriate length and get the appropriate height on the workspace. Yay. Now I have all these cut to the correct dimensions and I can mock up my build. Let's move on. So right now this is upside down, but I'm using gravity to help me build it. I got this clamped into place. When I initially made this, I made it with pocket screws. I'm just gonna use screws to butt joints. I'm not gonna use pocket hole joinery on it. So let me grab the screws and my drill. I'll pre-drill some holes on this and get this assembled. I'll do the other leg assembly and put cross pieces in and such. Fasten these little support blocks so I could drill into them and not have it go through the plywood. I don't know if it's gonna make any difference. It makes me feel better about it, but I probably don't need to do what I did. But anyways, it's glued in place and it'll be screwed in place. I'll enjoy it. And you guys can tell me if I should have done something different. Probably should have. Well, it's a few days later since I finished, and I got to thinking about this stand, and I thought I was going to be done with it. But as the more I stood and looked at it, the more I saw just useless space here. So I decided, let me turn this so you can see it. I'm still going to keep this here to have a shelf on the bottom, but I really want to utilize this space. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to build a section with 1/2-inch plywood and make some drawers. Put a base in here, kind of build out a simple set of shelves or drawers or something so I can utilize this for storage instead of just having this open space. I should have done that a long time ago. This one, wheel this one in, and I should have did that here. So maybe I'll do that as well on this. I'll see if I can, see if that's how I want to go with it. Drawers coming for this section. I've got this ripped down to 14 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to use my crosscut sled to cut it to its final width, which is 23 inches, and I'll make 2 panels of that size. So the height from here to here is 14.5 inches. So I probably and do like 2 6-inch drawers, leave me a little bit of wiggle room, take into account 1/2-inch plywood and such. So if I do a 6-inch drawer, slide it out, put another piece in, 6-inch drawer, we can slide it out. It'll be good for storage. So that is the plan. Let me get that measured out and I'll come back to you in a minute. So I've decided just to build simple drawers. I think I'm gonna build out the first drawer and I'm just gonna use butt joints and nails and glue to make boxes, and I'll build the first one and then I will put my spacers in based on the height of the first one. So I've got 1/2-inch plywood that I'm gonna use. I'll probably rip it down to the size to be about 5.5 inches tall. This is 14 3/4 wide, so 23 by 14 3/4. It'll be a total of 6 inches from the bottom of the base to the top. And that'll be my first one. Then I will put in, like I said, the spacers and build the second drawer based off of the space that's left over. Cut down to 5.5. I'll mark off the 14 3/4, and then for the front and back pieces, then I'll do the sides, which will be, this is a 1/2 inch and that's 23 inches. So 22 to take into account the width of this for the sides. Like I said, nails, butt joints, and glue hold the drawer together. I've got this set up to do the nailing, gluing, clamping to hold everything together till I can get the fasteners in place. And start down here, we'll get this glued up. Take you along as I build out this basic box. That leaves me with 8.5 inches. So if I put some rails, maybe an inch up, build another 6-inch drawer. So I've got both my drawers built. I had some more scrap plywood that I'm used to cut out runners that this will just side on. I'll probably just, once I'm all done here, this will all get a good sanding. I'll throw some wax on there, make it slide back and forth. These are 7/8 of an inch wide. It's 1/2 inch, like I said, it's scrap 1/2 inch plywood. So I'm continuing on with my not having to buy anything for this build. 100% is made out of leftover stuff from previous projects. So that is always a good thing when you can build out of leftover scraps and partials. Anyways, this is the bigger drawer, this is the smaller drawer, this one's 6 inches. I'm going to put some scrap pieces of wood to measure 6 1/4 inches. So this will ride just above like this and leave a gap to reach in and grab this. Maybe go 6 1/2, so I get my finger in there, pull it out, and then have this drawer sit right above it. So that's kind of the plan, and we'll see how it looks. So, got my spacers here, they're 7 inches. I'll glue and brad nail the runners in on this side, then I'll glue and brad nail the runners in on the other side. And we're about done. Let's get this in there. Boom. Ha-ha. Bam. Well, there you have it. All finished up. Off camera, I did decide to add some guides to the top and bottom supports, because as I slid these drawers in and out, they kept on wanting to bump up against these 2x4s here. So this will keep them from, guide them like they're supposed to do, because they're called guides. Anyways, I'm really happy with the way this finished up. So, and I hope you guys are. Thanks a lot for joining me on this build. A couple weeks, I think we'll get back to having our next turning video. I have a really cool design I'm working on. I bought a new book. I'll share that with you if you're interested. So this is The Art of Segmented Wood Turning by Malcolm Tibbetts. We'll be trying some of the projects in here over the next couple weeks, and I'm super excited to test out some of these things. So anyways, this is going to be my inspiration for the next few videos. Thanks for coming along with me on this build, and we'll see you on the next one.